Welcome everyone back to the coloring part of this Blender little project of mine, this alien. You can see to the right on the screen the color key that I've got for myself, just so I can easily pick colors. Did deviate from it, but it was just to give me a basic idea. Overall, this was really good. A lot smoother than I remember Vertex paint being, simply because I think when I started to paint models before, maybe they were just too dense, and when the brush got large, it just lagged like crazy, and it was just not, not a pleasant experience to paint with. But this actually felt more like painting in Photoshop. Not exactly, obviously, but I was painting this model, which was 40 plus million polygons, and it was pretty smooth. You can't argue with that. So really impressed, really, with what I was able to do with that, and it was as good as I thought it would be. You can't ask any more than that. I used the airbrush to blend in a lot of the colors. I just couldn't get on with the smear brush. I probably need to tweak the settings just to get it the way that I want it. But I don't know what it was. In the Vertex paint, they used to have a blur brush, which I used to really like, but this smear, I got to start playing with it a bit more. Not for me. Anyway, it wasn't really an issue. I just used the various opacities and sizes and blended it all in. It was fine. The real thing that was my favorite throughout this painting process is the cavity options. Man, I love the cavity options. These, after you've actually painted, the model for a bit, and you start looking in the render view, some of the details can get blurred out a bit, but this is like, it gives you back the details for free, and it's just so easy to do. I didn't create any masks or anything. I literally just hit the cavity, painted it a darker color than the rest of the scales, then inverted the cavity and painted the scales a lighter color again than the skin, just to make them pop against the darkness of the cracks. And I wasn't going to do it originally because the scales are so small that I thought you wouldn't be able to see it very well in the final render, but I did it anyway, simply because I wanted to play with it, and I thought it looked good in the end. But that cavity, I could see me using that a lot. Really good. And also, with the color attributes now, as they're called, they're not your vertex options, but it works very similar. So to see your colors in the render view, you got to plug in your attributes to your shader, and you can also control your. What I did was I created a duplicate of the attribute box that was plugged into the shader and turned that one to roughness, plugged that into roughness. And then I could actually paint the highlights to, the degree that I wanted, just by going from white to black, black being obviously the shiniest. And that's how I got the highlights around the eyes, the lips. And I actually did a sort of a light pass on the scales themselves just to give them a bit of shine, because I didn't do that originally when I painted it. So I gave it a good roughness pass, and that again, I try and keep it as simple as I can. I don't like having all these node boxes everywhere. All I need is just color and the roughness, and yeah, that's it. I get the textures from the alphas anyway. So the roughness was something really that I wanted to sort of to make sure that I had in this one, and just to experiment with it moving forward. But that's what you just have to remember, when you're using this new color mode in Sculpt, is to, if you want to see it in render, you got to plug in the color attributes to the shader. And then you're good to go. And from there, I took the render into Photoshop, and I just did a quick turnaround because I realized that I hadn't actually shown the sort of side of the back of the model very much at all. So I thought I'd just do a quick mock-up just so that you can see that I did actually detail all sides of the model. I might not always do that because, you know, I've heard from people that if you decided on an angle for your final render, then, you know, kind of what's the point in detailing the rest of it if it's not going to be a rigged model or anything, which none of my stuff is going to be that. It's just sculptures. So I knew that I was going to photograph it from the front. So really, I didn't need to detail the back at all. But I wanted to do it just because this is only a bust and I had the time to do it. And it was just a matter of getting used to the new tools as well, you know, because really this whole model was so that I could play with paint. But yeah, anyway, that's it. Did a turnaround in Photoshop, and then I took it a step further and made a kind of illustration out of it, just tweaked some colors a bit more, gave it a slight background, you know, just to give it that kind of cinematic feel. And I'm really pleased with it. You know, I'm pleased with the tools. You know, I really, really love what Blender's able to offer now. But that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.